Hi and welcome to Detail. This is Rebecca Bautista and this video is all about the FICO score. So we'll be going over what is a FICO score, how's the data weighted, what are the factors, and then we'll be talking about how they rank you, and last but not least, what's the latest model. So let's get started. Alright, so what does FICO stand for? Well, FICO is an acronym. It used to stand for Fair Isaac and Company, which was started back in the 50s, but then they renamed it and now it's the Fair Isaac Corp. Fair Isaac Corp. It was one of the first companies to use data analytics to collect your credit score information from the credit score bureaus and generate a number in which you can have a credit-worthy ranking. It analyzes across multiple factors and then it turns it into a 3-digit number ranging from 300 all the way to 850. 850 being a perfect score, 300 being basically the bare minimum, and then of course there's 0, which means you have no credit history at all. Don't let it fool you, FICO is still the biggest player in terms of credit scoring. Right now, they still claim that they are still used in about 90% of lending decisions, so it's a very important number to consider. Right now, we are on FICO 10. Not all lenders are on FICO 10. A lot of them are still using 8 and 9. It takes at least 6 months in order for you to generate a credit score. All right, so how is the data weighed? Well, with FICO, they use 5 factors, and each one is weighed a little bit differently. The main 5 factors are new credit, mix of credit, your credit history length, your credit utilization, and last, your payment history. What do these factors mean? Well, new credit is worth 10%, so it's a fairly low weighted score, and it's basically how many hard inquiries have you had recently. A hard inquiry is what is actually reported to the bureaus. When you have a soft pull, it doesn't actually hit the credit bureau. The idea is basically that if you apply for a ton of loans in a short period of time, it just is a signal that you are potentially under financial stress, and so therefore you are trying to borrow money to cover up a deficit that you can't fill with your income. Because of this, also note that a hard credit can actually last on your credit report for 12 months. The next factor is a mix of credit, which is again 10%. It's basically a mix of what type of credits do you have. Do you have installment loans? So that would be your student loans, mortgages, car payments, or do you have revolving line of credits? So that would be your credit cards and what is known as line of credit. So diversifying and having different types of debt across these loans will help you, but please note it's only accounting 10%, which is a low score, so you don't have to constantly keep diversifying. It will help you, but it's a very slightly minimum positive impact. Don't think about it too hard if you don't need to. So the next factor is your length of credit history, which is for 15%. Basically, this is the amount of time that you've had a credit history that will account for across your different loans, your student loans, your installment loans, your mortgages. Basically, when you have an old line of credit and it closes, it may impact your score because it will shorten your amount of credit history. So think about that when you are looking at those credit cards that you've had for a while. The longer credit history you have, basically it's more data that FICO can use to generate your score. Credit utilization, which accounts for 30%, that's the percentage of available credit that you are using. This is across all of your credit, including also for some calculations, your balance left on the installment loan, because again, remember with installment loans, you can't reborrow. The last one, which is another big impact, well, your payment history is 35%. So it accounts for a slightly higher score. And this is a really important part, which is, are you paying on time? Do you have anything in collections? And have you been late? And also additional negative factors to consider are bankruptcies, lawsuits, and wage garnishments. File for bankruptcy, that can affect you between anywhere from 7 to 10 years. And then wage garnishments, like most commonly would be like if you weren't paying child support, IRS tax. In that case, it would negatively impact you under payment history. All right, so how does FICO rank your scores? This is the infamous 5 categories where you hear people talk about, oh, I have poor credit, oh, I have good credit. All right, so you have 5 categories that you could be in. You could be poor, fair, good, very good, or exceptional. So to have a poor score is a score between 300 and 579. Then from 580 to 669 is a fair credit. From good, you have 670 to 739. For a very good credit score, you are between 740 and 799, and then 800 to 850, that would be the exceptional score. The last thing that we're going to quickly talk about is what is the current FICO model. So right now we are on FICO 10, and then they have a 10T, which stands for trending. With the trending model, they actually look past that 24 months worth of data. That's all I have for you today on the FICO score. The next video is going to be on the Vantage score, which is the other another model that is starting to get a bigger foothold in the credit scoring industry. And after that, we'll have 5 credit myths. So I hope you found this video helpful. And of course, I'm always happy to help. So I'll see you later. Bye.